And it is time to go live here from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the morning steam for Wednesday, November 22nd, previewing our gigantic sports betting cards in the NBA. In the NHL, a day before Thanksgiving, we're going to load up on games. You know what happens? Your family comes into town looking for entertainment opportunities. You go to a live sporting event. There's a ton of games tonight in the NBA and NHL. It's a big college basketball slate as well, including more tournament action. We saw some excitement last night. We saw Shaka Smart. He wanted to, uh, get all Shaka. He wanted to get all 40 minutes of hell on Bill Self. Probably jealous of his bank account, and had a few words for Mr. Self as Marquette beat Kansas out at the Maui Classic, the greatest preseason tournament in college basketball history out there. I mean, hard to, we got three of the top four teams basically in your tournament. It's not like they, you know, got together last month and said, hey, let's invite a bunch of great teams. I mean, they've been doing that for years, the Maui Classic, but the Maui Classic tournament fields are set like 3 or 4 years in advance. It's a big deal. And to end up with this kind of configuration, wow, we'll see the big one tonight, of course, there, and maybe get your picks on the big game out of the Maui Invitational. It's funny, they don't even play the big game at the end, right? I mean, the big game is the second game out in Maui. Well, I say Maui. It's in Honolulu at the Sheriff Center. I don't want to, the fact that the games are not being played in Maui because of a natural disaster. Actually, the fires that occurred this year has really made life very, very hectic for those folks on Maui. So the tournament being played. I mean, that's fun. Maui Classic. Remember in the pandemic, they played it uh, on the East Coast, and then now they've had to move it to Honolulu. But still, great tournament, and the big one. Of course, today at the Maui Classic with Purdue and Marquette, two of the top four teams. I don't know, maybe the two top teams in the country right now. Marquette's looking like say what you want about Shaka Smart, and maybe he's never really achieved what he's set out to do at his previous stops. He's always gotten a better job and kept that team moving forward, prominent, whatever the case may be. And he's got uh, this Marquette team, in position, not just here in Maui, but to have a great season this year. Hello, everyone. Want to say hello, hi, welcome. We get ready for the holiday tomorrow. Hey, if you want to start your you can eat today. You can start. I know a lot of people start their, turkey, of course, by the end of the night tonight, whatever. And have a great day. I'll be here tomorrow to join you. Hopefully, you'll come by. We're gonna, cover a lot of weekend football. There's not a lot, big schedule tomorrow, so hang out if you are around and maybe waiting for your family or whatever. It's gonna be a easy day for you. Come talk to me and talk sports, and I'll give thanks to everyone for hanging with me here. How about NBA in season tournament action last night? Are the Los Angeles Lakers the big story when it comes to the in season tournament? They seem to like, no surprise. Here's something that half the people don't like, but the Lakers seem to like it. LeBron seems to like it. It'd be LeBron to win the first in season tournament. Who knows? Long way to go, and I don't even know who's in the. I know the Lakers are in. They seem to like it. They're 4-0. We've had uh, 3 or 4 games now for most of the teams. We're seeing how everyone kind of falls into place, and how you like the tournament as well. I know everyone wants to talk about the crazy game last night. We talked about it here on the show, so there's just no possible way this one is not exactly as advertised, right, with the Pacers and the Hawks, because like I said, we joke about it, and you can be the conspiracy theorist. The players, yeah, maybe some of them understand gambling more than others, but I don't know. And some of the experience we've seen, I don't know, maybe it's just something that we sports bettors like to do. We know about gambling. They don't really know sometimes, right? When you hear athletes talk, they don't even understand what a point spread is or how betting works and why these guys have gotten into a little bit of trouble for betting, when they're professional athletes because they don't know the rules or what they're doing. But we knew what we were doing, right? And there was just no way that was a can't miss. So, what the Pacers and Hawks experienced last night, they knew going into the game. They didn't need to look at the newspaper or whatever your app, I should say, to know that they were going to be in for the ride of their lives last night. They knew going in they were going to be playing a high score. There was just no way around it. And to see the result the way that it was no surprise. And it's sad for those two teams. It's not sad for the fans or anything. They, not playing any defense, you're not going to be able to hang long term. We know that these two teams are not destined for success this season, deep run in the playoffs or whatever. They're young, growing teams. The Hawks are starting to, I don't know, maybe feel a little pressure with their timeline, but nonetheless, people, whoever wants to complain about a game like that, those are just the complainers. I mean, nobody wants to have a 90-90 game when you can have a 150-150 in regulation. So it almost went overtime and would have challenged probably that record with 2 overtimes, would have challenged that all-time record. Here's the funny thing about it. When I talked about that game last night, Denver and Detroit back from 1983 that set the record with a triple overtime game that was a 186-184. The Denver Nuggets, you think about triple overtime, hey, it could have happened. That was a high score. The Denver Nuggets were kind of ahead of their time back in the 80s. They were the team scoring all the points a little bit. They brought that ABA feel a little bit to the NBA. And the scores, it was funny because for a time in the 70s, the scores were pretty high in the NBA and in the ABA as the ABA started to merge into the NBA and the teams like the Pacers came into the NBA. But then there was a big time, a bit of a scoring drought when we got in the 90s. A lot of games were played in the 90s, in the 90s. So I meant to say that. In the 90s, the scores of, you'd have the Bulls and the Knicks, and a final score would be like 86-79. It'd be like, what a game. So hope you enjoyed that one. I mean, it certainly was the game. I was watching the Cavs and the Sixers as well with that important contest and good matchup. But I think all eyes are on the Pacers and the Hawks last night. I was rooting for overtime. How about you guys? All right, let's say hello to my friends and get started. We would talk about what happened in hockey last night, but there wasn't anything. So took the day off. We have that big card. Man, these cards are so big. We feel like we should start the picks right now, should we? Let's just say hello to everyone. Go over to the website and get this party started. Ferner was here to open the doors, and Ari brought the coffee, and Ferner also bringing that motivation. I don't know whether to get excited or depressed every time Ferner comes in and gives me this motivation, thinking about what has been. Just kidding, Ferner. I do appreciate it very, very much, actually. I could use all kinds of motivation, E-Burke. Let's eat. Why not? Get it started early. Remember some of the rules. I mean, look, it's a fun day. You have family and friends. I'm not telling you not to have some libations, but you know what? Don't go for the beer, man. Don't go for the beer. That's bad. So, go for something a little lighter. You got to keep that belly. You got to keep that stomach for the good stuff. And the beer is going to bring you down a little bit with the, how much room you have. Brent, good morning. He's ready for the card today. Gerardo is here. Gerardo, we're almost giving Gerardo the day off with that soccer last night. He had the winners last night. Hey, how about Gerardo can comment on the game? Hello to Nicholas. Gerardo can comment on the games, but Argentina with the win over Brazil last night in the Battle of the Americas. And you think I'm kidding? That's kind of the Americanized nickname of it. And Gerardo had our backs a little bit in the action with Mexico last night. All right, Thomas has his telling us like it and smash it, but also says potato salad. And don't, you know what? I'm a picky eater, and my family knows that. They almost go out of their way. I don't want just have a good time. I'll get what I need, and don't tell me what to eat and not to eat. Right? And I'm gonna eat. If I'm gonna take 6 hours, I'm gonna take 6 hours. All right. Looks like we got just the regulars here. Let's see. All right. We'll go over to Tony'sPicks.com and let a few more people roll in here. Got a couple dozen of you ready to roll with me today. I don't know how the turnout will be on this holiday eve. If you're traveling, let me know. Where you at? Are you at an airport? Are you uh, driving along with fam? You have anybody listening to me that's never heard me before? We get a few hundred viewers every day by the end of the day. Just want to also congratulate here on the 40,000 subscriber juggernaut. Yesterday was pretty much the official day. Tony T going over the 40,000 subscriber mark once again. Congratulations. I know he doesn't like a big deal made. We have bigger and better plans. I'm pretty sure last I heard from the team for the channel, but going to be a big day here. Let's get rolling. Go over to Tony'sPicks.com. Let me tell you about the handicappers over at the website. It was a nice day for the cappers. I spent most of my day revamping a little bit. Had to go back to the drawing board. Look, we're just too flat right now on college basketball. So spent most of the day making adjustments to my ratings to make sure. Whoops, there we go. Making adjustments to my rating. So my volume was extremely light on a big card, very unusual for me, but just given the nature of my flatline results so far in my best sport, when I revamp it a little bit, just make sure I've got everything here ready to go into the holidays and want to get this right as we move forward. So hopefully the picks have been okay for us here on the show in college basketball, but I want to get a little bit tighter with that. And last night we split the action in the MAC as well. Let's take a look at these handicappers. We went 1-1 here on the show. Ben holla with that perfect day. 5-0 for Ben. Good job, Ben. Pravi coming in here. Pravi Samba Murdy, 9-5-1. The VIP account continues to roll. Great job. 3-0 for the VIP account. Mindy Hahn, 80% yesterday. Strong day. Joseph Schultz, guy can't miss. He's 2-0. He hit you with games. He hit you with props. Tony T goes 2-1. Hollywood Sam, 2-1. Tiffany Mance, 2-1. Nick Lagaretos, also 2-1. On the day for the last 7 days, it's the VIP account. Yes, of course, they're going to be number one right now, 25-11. Over the last 7 days, you got Nick Bartini in here. He's the face of Platinum Cappers, and he's up over 10 units over the last 7 days. Joseph Schultz coming in at about 72% right now over the last 7 days. Mindy Hahn is up over 7.25 units over the last 7 days, and Nick Lagaretos is up over 6.75 units over the last 7 days. Here's the monthly numbers. It's Chauncey Giles has made his way up into the leaderboard over 19.25 units over the last 30 days. Daniel Walasachuk having a strong run, of course. We've talked about him all month. He's up 14.5, nearly 14.5 units. Tony T up nearly 941 right now for Tony over the last 30 days. Sean Dinwiddie, king of totals, 9.5 units, 7.5 units over the last 30 days, and Hollywood Sam up 5.5 units. Go to the premium picks tab, and there you'll find our premium picks for today, including picks from our team of handicappers, 3-packs, 5-packs, 7-packs for today, including those from Nick Bartini. He's got an NBA 3-pack. Today, Mindy Hahn has a 7-pack on the ice, and why not with this huge card? Marlo Pettis here has a 3-pack, in the NBA. Ben Ruhala as well, 3-pack in the NBA. Tiffany Mance has a 7-pack on the ice. I've got a 7-pack ready with some plays and all three sports right now to get the day rolling. Check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20%. Click on the All Cappers tab. There you'll find the handicappers of your choice. Click on their handicapper profile page and get signed up. And join us in the Discord. I heard someone making a little post in there. I'll be in there today as well with plenty of college basketball picks. Say hello to a few more folks that have strolled in here while I was doing our commercial. Werner likes that performance of the Cavaliers so far. If anything, they're kind of looking like last year a little bit. So don't be surprised. This is one of the better teams in the NBA. The Cavaliers. Of course, I'm big fans of the Mobley brothers. Having been a classmate of the Mobley brothers' dad. He was a pretty good player. He was a star of the team, and I was the PA announcer. Of course, I didn't play. I thought I was Mr. Journal, Mr. Sportsman, Mr. Sportscaster, right? So I watched the Mobley brothers' dad. He was a star player on the team, and I would call out his name when he would score the basket. Shout out to my friend Eric Mobley. If you're out there somewhere, he's an assistant coach. You probably have seen him with USC. He's on Team Enfield right now, and probably who knows where he'll end up. Maybe he'll be coaching his sons in the NBA. All right, Rico is here. Good morning to Rico. Juan is here today as well. Guys have been doing good for me with comments and appreciate you. Let's get rolling. Those are those of you who said hi, just 5 or 6 of you, but got nearly 3 dozen in here. I think we can get rolling a little bit unless you guys want to have anything else to review from yesterday. It's time to go because, well, you know why. I mean, this is just a incredible card that I don't know what we're going to do. We got to go fast just to get through the massive cards in the NBA and NHL. There's also some early college basketball. Hopefully we'll be ready for that. There's one game that tips off here in about 90 minutes. We'll try to get a little pick there, and we'll pick maybe 4 or 5 of the biggest games today in college basketball, including that Maui final between Purdue and Marquette. Let's get rolling with the NBA. Hope I'm ready for this card because it was a little intimidating, right, guys? If you looked at it already with the, as long as, these cards are as long as your arm today. So let's get over the NBA with that first matchup and the line, see what there's been any line moves as well. You guys ready? Here we go. Steam play. We'll get some of that delicious steam also in the Discord here. I mean, this thing's popping off right now with all these college games today. Start off with the Denver Nuggets and Orlando Magic, 2 good teams. Let's just say it like it is. You have to include the Orlando Magic. This has been obviously a pleasant surprise. Maybe not a big-time surprise considering the players that they've already quickly developed. And boy, they are money makers, the Orlando Magic so far. Right now, I mean, we should send presents to the Magic. They're 5-1 against the spread at home so far. Contrast that with the Nuggets. They're 1-6 against the spread on the road. You got one team that's pretty good against the spread, one team that's pretty bad against the spread so far, and you got them as a home dog. So why wouldn't you be on the Orlando Magic? Denver, you saw what happened. Denver on the road without Murray. Still, don't forget, we'll check his status. But more so, just want to talk about the frustration we saw last game, right? With Nikola Jokic getting ejected from the game late in the second quarter. That's no good. You can't have the MVP, that's going to hurt your chances to win. So maybe just a little bit of frustration. Denver realizing, hey, maybe we're not all that right now. Yes, they're 10-4. They're best team in the West. No one's challenging them yet. I don't know if we can put any of these other teams up there right now with the Nuggets. We want to give them a chance and see who kind of comes out of the jumbled field of the West to challenge Denver right now. Because I don't know if we can pick one team to, and I'm not putting Denver in the West Finals or anything. I think we know, when you have a star player like that and good complementary players, Murray's still a superstar when he's in there. He's maybe he's just past a little bit of the peak of his career, but when you got a guy like Nikola Jokic, who, is such a great compliment to a player like that. So I'm on the Magic. I mean, I feel like I'm using a premium up here with this one, but I want to take the Magic. I want to, take them plus the points at home. Why not? Like I said, just terrific against the spread so far, especially at home. It just feels like you have a team that covers against a team that doesn't. So just give me the Magic here. And we got Brent with his pick here. He likes the Magic. To win it outright. You know what? Why not? Why not take him on the money line? I'd put my pick on the money line. Just want to make sure we get the win here for you guys on the show. But why not? Fernando maybe with the over here. I don't know, Fernando. Look, there was a move that just came in. I was coming on the air about 20 minutes ago. This one got hit pretty good on the under, and I might even end up. Fernando's going over, so boy, I might have to temper my enthusiasm a little bit. I kind of wanted to go under with these teams. I mean, talk about the spread record. Well, Denver, they might be 1-6 on the road against the spread. They're also 1-6 to the under on the road. 6 unders, 1 over. And they've been a favorite in every game. They're 10 unders and 4 overs. And Orlando has kind of been that, pardon me, for Orlando. Look, I think the reason for the success of the Orlando Magic is the strong improvement of their defense. I mean, they're like fourth in the league, fourth, fifth. I don't know. They're one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the league. They get out and defend the ball. They don't give up. I think they're also pretty strong in forcing turnovers. You know, uh, not giving up massive amounts of assists. I mean, they are playing well, and they're playing well. Um, how should I say? Aesthetically, they look good out there. So we don't talk about too long. We're on the everybody's on the Magic. Geez, look at this. This is consensus city. It feels like, right? Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's bad. I guess man for man, but I still think I don't think that Murray is someone that people are his injury is something that people are overlooking, but to me it feels like we're not giving enough credit credence maybe to the fact that Murray's missed so many games, and yeah, this team doesn't have a third, a big, they won it. They won it kind of with this team last year, but do they really? Does anybody really say, oh, when I think of the Nuggets, I think of their, we really think of those two players as their, big time players. So Rodney says, don't forget, you got the little bit of a factor here, Magic on the back to back. But yeah, they're not covering the spread. So, maybe the Nuggets find a way to get the victory still. Remember when we kind of talk about, yeah, we'll talk in the future about spreads and back to backs and everything. But the bottom line for an NBA team is just to win the game. They're not too concerned. And if it ends up being a struggle, but maybe the Nuggets are still good enough to get that money, well, then that's what'll happen. But last night we did see, of course, Orlando play against Toronto and do a pretty good job against them. All right. Well, we had one good game to talk about. there with the Nuggets and the Hornets, and this one not so much with Washington and Charlotte. These teams have combined just 6 victories so far here this season. You have the Wizards coming in just 2-11, probably the worst team in the league right now with not many answers, not many solutions. They've been able to come up with 5 covers. To a certain extent, they are playing a little bit better than their record would indicate. That's the way I interpret spread records. So, they've gotten enough. They've gotten the money enough, is kind of what it says here. These two teams have combined to go 18-8 to the over so far this season, but if anything, the move looks like it's been to the under here. I don't know if I can get behind a 240-point game necessarily with these teams. I believe, let me take a look and see if it has been. No, I don't think the steam has been too sharp, if you will, as I try to interpret the steam here right now. But for me, when you look at the Charlotte Hornets, they haven't been covering either. If anything, the Washington Wizards are kind of in their best spot as far as covering the spread. They actually, for that terrible record, 2-11, and also a poor spread record, 5-8. Again, better than their overall record. They're actually 4-3 against the spread on the road. Now they certainly get some big points, and they're getting points here, but not big points. Now Charlotte is 0-2 already against the spread as a favorite, and 2-5-1 against the spread at home. Advantage Wizards a little bit here, you guys. I don't know if how strongly you want to look at that, but to me that kind of says advantage Wizards to a certain extent. As far as the totals are concerned, I mean, again, this one's up. I'll check it again. What is it, 243 now? And what is the line? The line's down to 4 for the most part, I'd say. And this total, yeah, it's 242.5 at some spots. I'm showing 243 at some spots as well. This one, just kind of keeps going up, but it doesn't feel it. It doesn't have the feel necessarily of that massive score yesterday. But I think given the fact that Charlotte has gone over like I said, both teams are 9 overs and 4 unders, a combined 18-8 to the spread. If anything, though, Charlotte at home, they do seem to play just a little bit more whatever they're doing when the other team has the ball. I was going to try to call it defense, but I don't know if you can call it that right now. But still, for a team that has gone 9-4 to the over, Charlotte is 4 overs and 4 unders at home so far this season, and one over and one under as a favorite. So everything kind of points to the over, except for when Charlotte is at home and favored. Maybe it's a little bit of a lower scoring game. The total was moving higher, continues to move a little bit higher right now. And, I don't know if I necessarily want to buck that move necessarily, but it's just, seems pretty darn high right now. So, all right. Well, I guess if we got to make the call, look, the Wizards are pretty bad, but maybe this is a spot where they actually can get the money here. Let's take a look at your comments. I might end up, you guys can talk me out of this one probably. Solo says go over the big number. Brent says the Wizards come in and get that money, get that win. Ferner says, yeah, I got to think under. Maybe it's just too many points for this one. Look, the funny thing about that game yesterday, it was pretty well played, right? I mean, no defense. If you want to complain about no defense, I'll give you that much. But the shooting was pretty good. I don't think this one will be as aesthetically pleasing as that game was yesterday. So, all right, I'll try the Wizards. We got a little suggestion in there on the Wizards. I want to give these guys a chance here a little bit to maybe, maybe it is. Maybe this is their spot today. Look, the Wizards have been bad. There's no reason to kind of pump them up a little bit, but let's go ahead and try them here. Get 4 points, get 4.5 points, whatever. They look pretty clean. Also on the injury report as well. Let's see what we got. I was going to maybe just take a peek and see what was going on with Charlotte. Nick Richards, he's out. Rozier's still out as well. DeLon Wright's out for the Wizards. All right, I'll take them. Give me the Wizards. Got to take them sometime. And again, I'm always looking for one of the little things on situations like this where we have two subpar spread teams, and in situations like that, right, I do look to see what a team's straight up record compared to their spread record is. So everybody can say the Wizards are bad, and they are, but they've played slightly better to the number than they have as their overall record. You look at it and just say, hey, 5-8, 8 spread losses, but it's the same spread record as Charlotte, pretty much. So, all right. And the Nets and the Hawks here in this one. And the Hawks, hey, how much energy does it take out of you? Would you play a game like that last night? I would say, it might. I certainly think the talking heads today will say, well, the Hawks, they got to be tired after that one. Does it make you even more tired than a regular back-to-back? I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer, or you should just treat it as a back-to-back, right? I don't know if there's a more energy. Maybe there's some next-gen stat or something that these guys ran a little more. They had to go. Obviously, there was more offense. There must have been more possessions. They did shoot pretty good, right? I'm sure. I think I was looking at it at one point. Both teams are over 50% shooting, well over 50% shooting. So there were a lot of possessions. That's the way those teams roll. Here with Brooklyn and the Hawks, you got, you got two good spread. Well, you got the Brooklyn Nets. That's what you have. Atlanta hasn't really done that well against the spread this year, but Brooklyn has. Brooklyn's been our moneymaker here. Maybe they've given a little bit back of late with 2 straight losses against decent teams, right? Lost to Philadelphia at home. They were blown out in that one. We wanted to give them a chance, I think, right? And they got beat by Miami. So I don't know. Maybe the good times are over for the Nets. I don't feel like they are. And in the matchup against Atlanta in the back-to-back situation, maybe this is a spot for more Brooklyn action here. Maybe it is. After all, you got Brooklyn 9-3-1 against the spread so far this season. Atlanta, they're 1-5 so far against the spread, all as a home favorite, and 4-8 against the spread overall. So you got one team that's covering, one team that's not, and the team's basically identical records straight up. Brooklyn comes in 6-7, and Atlanta comes in with a 6-7 record as well. A little bit to note. Brooklyn has not been good as a underdog, but Atlanta 2-5 straight up at home. That's not good. That's not even their spread record. That's straight up. So I don't know. I feel like I want to get back on my Nets here and try to make this money. Atlanta's been a pretty big over team so far this season, especially at home, 6-1 to the over thus far. And we've seen this move go from 232. Let me take a look at the current line here, maybe update something. Mostly 3.5s right now, and even down to 3 at some spots. So there's definitely been a move here on those Brooklyn Nets. And the total, 234 right now still. All right. Well, I'm going to have to take another shot with Brooklyn here in this one, getting some points. And if they've failed to cover 2 in a row, I think I'm going to want to try them on the third try, getting the points, because Uh, 3 sounds like a pattern. Juan says Brooklyn will cover. Here comes a prediction from one Brent Cook, who says Hawks to roll in this one. And that looks like that looks like a slide over for Brent. Solos on the Nets. And Juan says Brooklyn. Brent says, don't forget, you got. Oh, that was the last game. Sorry about that. I went too far. And Juan does like the over as well. Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're tired, you don't play any defense. And Atlanta, after last night's crazy game, so still kind of the story, and that'll be the talking points. Certainly with this game today and the next one as well. So let's get into that because it's the Pacers taking on the Raptors. Now this is two teams that played yesterday. Of course, the Raptors were on the road in Orlando where they failed in a high-scoring game, and so now they have to travel to Indiana to take on the Pacers. And the Pacers are kind of the same commute almost, right? The Pacers came from Atlanta, and Toronto comes from Orlando, so kind of the same commute. They're probably arriving at the same time. One goes to their beds and one goes to another hotel, but I'm sure they probably arrived very proximate times to the destination here. For these two teams, I don't know. Another, you see the total here. Let me see. I think let me take a look at the move on this one. Up to 238.5. I'm showing 3.5 and 238.5. Usually, when these high totals have moved, I usually like to see a little more wide ranging steam. So, usually, when these high totals have seen the move upward, these are the ones that have ended up going over. With these two teams, you might think, why wouldn't it go over, especially with Indiana? They're the ones that are the massive over team right now. They're the ones that are dictating all of this that's going on in their matchups. They've played 13 games so far. 12 of them have gone over, including 7 of 8 games at home have gone over as well. And being a favorite here against Toronto, Indiana, they're covering numbers. They might be 8-5 straight up and against the spread, but they're pretty good job so far for Indiana. They're definitely one of the surprises of the league, and one of the pretty good team, a decent team, a good start, a decent team. We saw last year hints of it, right? Once they started to acquire some of this talent, with their big trade in the season last year, and just personnel themselves. Indiana has done a nice job. So Nembhard, he is questionable. And for the Raptors, you got Thad Young, questionable, and Koloko, questionable. I think they both have a little bug or something. We used to call that a few years ago. Had a name for that. No, I don't know. Anyways, for me, I think the Pacers might be in a good spot here to get the money in this one. They're kind of taking the action right now. I don't know if it's all too solid, but I think I'd probably end up on Indiana here at home and lay this small number. As far as the total is concerned, I mean, we're seeing that thing move even higher. Feels like that's the way it's going to go. Maybe you guys can talk me off the Pacers a little bit. Hey, Chad's here today. Nice to see you, Chad. Juan says he likes the Pacers at home here. So, all right, I'm going to try the Pacers in this one. Both teams on the back-to-back. I'll favor the home team to get it done in this one and lay the 3.5 points. All right, the big one. I would say the big one of the night with the Bucks and the Celtics, the featured attraction here in this one on ESPN. Game of the night for sure. Celtics favored currently at -6. Total's gone down here a little bit, 234 and a half, maybe even down to 234 at some spots. But the Celtics here, a big time favorite in this one. And well, Celtics are 4-1 against the spread so far at home this season. That stands out to me because they're 6-2 against the spread overall, and Milwaukee's 5-9 against the spread. So you have two of the best teams in the league: Boston 11-3, Milwaukee 10-4. But the Bucks have been able to get the money for the most part. Now, they are laying a little bit here where you might be thinking maybe this is too many points for a team like Boston to get, especially with Damian Lillard probable in this game, expected to be in there today for the Bucks. So, will we see a move on that once he's ruled? I guess probable is about as in as you can get. So, I'm sure it's baked into the line in this one. And I don't know, do we see a little bit of dysfunction when Lillard is in there defensively? What is going on with the Bucks? And why does that why is this happening to the Bucks right now to a certain extent? Why look, there's nothing wrong, I'm sure. Maybe they're even just having a little bit of a here's Solo wants the Bucks. Chad says Boston runs away with it. He says the Buck. Maybe he was talking about Brooklyn in that next comment. I don't know. Maybe he says that. Oh, the backcourt has no shot. He said. I think what he's saying is he does not like. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. That backcourt right now of Milwaukee's up against Boston with Beasley and Lillard up against Holiday and White. Put them together. Maybe they're not the two best defense. I mean, certainly Holiday, probably a top 5 defensive player. Maybe you have number 1 or 2, whatever. I'm just trying to generalize. Defense is a hard metric, right? But certainly with Lillard and Beasley against Holiday and White, that's a bad match. I think it's a bad matchup all around for the Bucks, actually. Even Giannis against Tatum. Make fun of Tatum all you want. I mean, he'll be okay. He's okay. And Thomas says, is White even going to be in this game? Let me check what he has here, because we know he missed the last one, right? He missed the game for personal reasons. Was his that was he missed a couple of games earlier in the month. So the concerns are it doesn't look like an injury, right? But the fact that he missed the game on Monday, but again, personal reasons, not an injury. Okay, so it is that backcourt, right? And again, I do want to take into account what Thomas is saying about White. Here's the funny thing, right? Is we don't think White necessarily is carrying it off, but Beasley's not going to be able to defend you. Middleton doesn't do anything on defense to slow Brown. Brown's back, right, from his absence. Yeah, I mean he's been back 3. What did he have last? Last game was a disappointment for Brown, 13 points in 34 minutes, 5 of 17. But I would think against Middleton. So I'm going to lay the points here with the Celtics in this one. How about 234 and a half? Yeah, I would think the Celtics can put up a number here actually and knock the Bucks down here for a day. I mean, look, I think it's safe to say the Bucks may not be full on Eastern contender. They're in there. All right, let's not worry about it. They'll be fine, but I think we all agree they're just a tad down, or we're trying to figure out what the deal is with the Bucks. Yeah, you're right on with that, Chad. Okay. All right, Heat and Cavs. Another pretty good game here with the Heat and the Cavs. We saw uh, Cavs in action last night. And it did a great job. I went with the Sixers here on the show. Hats off to the Cavs. Why would I go against my Cavs necessarily in that spot? But ended up being a great job by the Cavaliers. And here they are taking on the Heat. Heat are favored by 2, and the total is about 211.5, I'd say, at this point. So, I think yesterday the Cavs won that game 122 to 119 in overtime over the Sixers. Their fourth straight victory now for the Cavaliers. Doing a pretty good job here, obviously. Uh, at home, they're usually a little bit, they're favored a lot, and they don't cover some spreads at home, but do have a Cavs team that comes in with a 4-3 record as an underdog, but Miami's 5-3-1 against the spread at home. Thomas talking about the injuries, the Donovan Mitchell, but well, what can you say? It didn't necessarily hurt them yesterday, did it? In a top matchup. You do have a little bit of injury information here, of course, for Miami as well. They have uh, uh, out of this game. Tyler Hero still with an ankle injury. You're missing his 23 points from the game as well. And Mitchell, of course, is 30 points per game scorer. Bam is probable. He has that hip injury. Kevin Love, he's out for the Heat. And a few other nicks for the Cavs include Levert questionable, Okoro questionable, and any old school Levert fans from the 80s, the music group, Karis Levert, he's related to that family of Levert. If you remember some of their songs. All right. So for the total in this one, Cleveland is a team that does play some overs for sure, but interesting to note for the Cavs, who are actually 8-6 to the over and 5-2 to the over as an underdog. They are 2-4 to the under at home. So maybe conflicting bits of information in that one, but let me take a look at some of the moves here. I think I know where I'm going. Let's see what you guys have. Anything in this one, you guys? Juan says because of the back-to-back, I think that's going to put him on the Heat. Heat probably been here a little bit longer, waiting for the Cavs to get into town a little bit. They probably got here a little bit early, and the Cavs had to fly in after the overtime game. Overtime, not only a back-to-back, right, Juan, but an overtime game as well. So there's the comments. I just kind of missed them a little bit. All right. Yeah, pretty low. I mean, when you think of these two teams, you do think of, defense, ugly game, lower score, it feels like right now with these two. Maybe it gets away because of the Cavs. Could they be tired or whatever you want to say about it? But I'll go under with the Heat and the Cavs today. And I heard Tony talking about a little bit on the drive through yesterday about the generalization. I don't think it's necessarily wrong, right? And it's not a hard, steadfast rule. Go under in the low scores and over in the high scores. But I think you could conceivably look at the game and say, look to the under first in these games and see where your numbers are, see how it matches up. to me, I just think because the Cavs at home, yeah, I get the back to back, but that seems to be the overall factor for me right now in taking this game under is the Cavs at home, that defense playing well. Yeah, they will have the uh, rest disadvantage here in this one, but you have a Miami team that also is pretty solid defensively and pretty much an under team as well. Don't know if I trust them as a favorite though, even with the travel. I think at this point maybe the Heat will come to a little bit. Look, they're 9-5. Don't get me wrong; they're doing well and they're winning games. Actually, we're doing a good job considering that maybe they were ticketed for a slow start. All right. Kings and Pelicans, and this one. All right, you got me, you got me. Where is? Was this the Chad challenge game from the other night, Chad? This one you got me on the first one when I wanted, and it was a blowout, and you got me right. Of course, uh, just 3 nights ago, these teams played right here, and it was a big time win, 129-93. The Pelicans stomped the Kings. And now they're coming in there favored again, the Kings. They were favored by 1.5 last time. They're favored by 2 this time. I do feel like the Kings are the better team. Could I get burned with them again, trying them here? See what you guys want to do here with this one. And there it is, PZ. Do you want? Oh, I could sing it. I could sing it. I will. I will. This is a morning show. I don't have to stick. I don't have to just go with the games. Casanova, tell me what you say. Casanova, can't let it get away. Listen, baby, I want to hold you, want to squeeze you too. Ooh, want to make sweet love to you. All right, Howard's here to calm me down a little bit. Here comes Solo, says he still, maybe this is a spot. Maybe roll back with the Kings here. Chad says, give me the Pelicans all day. Thomas and I are going on. We're going to go either on tour, maybe we're going to go to karaoke. Maybe there's an app, there's a app you can go on, sing karaoke. People rate you. You've seen it. Howard liked it. All right. Anyways, can the Kings come back and get this one here against the Pelicans after losing to the Pelicans the other day? And yeah, maybe I got toasted a little bit on that one, thinking this is maybe you got it backwards. There's nothing wrong with the Kings. Remember what I've already said earlier this week, even in last preview. I won't say it too much longer. I won't bore anybody with it. And I won't, I could be wrong, but I'm on the Kings long term to make some damage here with the Kings long term, right? They're the team for me that's going to end up being the challenger to the Nuggets. I'll take them all the way to the Western Conference Finals. I'm going to, take them to win the NBA title as I already have. Don't think that they're the best team. I don't think they're the favorite to win the NBA title, obviously, but they're 50 or 60 to 1. And when all they got to do is to get into position for to be in the Western semifinals, in the Western finals, I believe you'll already have the leverage to make money with those bets. The Kings should not be 50 to 1 to win it all. No doubt, Chad, no doubt. But I think they've also made progress with that. Brent coming with his play today. Pelicans 121-117. And yeah, it's a revenge. And right, start to talk about some of the areas where the Kings have, a little bit. I think, Sabonis, kind of the overlooked thing in the whole picture with Sacramento. So I kind of want to come on the Kings here again because we lost with them last time, but maybe I learned my lesson a little bit. And you see the total here. This one's been a massive mover. These ones always go over, it seems like right now. And there's no value to it, but I kind of like the over. Um, it's all the way up. Is it even higher than this right now? Let me take a peek. No, I think 236 for the most part. So I'll challenge myself with a 237. I will go over here. This one was as low as 230. Oh gosh. Bet Online had an opener on this one at 227 and a half. That probably was just wrong. I'm sure they didn't really. And again, they open up pretty early on their number. I'll take the over with Sacramento and New Orleans. Talked about some of those uh, marks here for New Orleans so far. They are 6-4 to the over in their last 10. Also, Sacramento 6-3 to the over as a favorite, where they've been playing mostly unders so far this season. Yeah, they go under on the road a little bit. So also note Sacramento just 4-5 against the spread as a favorite so far, and New Orleans 6-3 to the spread at home. Here's Juan wants to go over with me. Chad's been getting the best of me. Who hasn't been getting the best of me here? We're like I said, I spent all day revamping some things yesterday. Went very, no volume, no premiums. Yes, just couldn't, you know. We got winners here on the show, no problem. Yeah, I will be here. Who said that? Let me get you on that. Hopefully, I didn't miss you, Howard. Howard, I will be here tomorrow. We won't have a lot to talk about. We're going to preview a lot of weekend games, have some fun on a holiday, and not be so businesslike. So I'll take the over in this one. Bulls and Thunder today. Bulls. I don't know what I'm going to do with these Bulls, but certainly have to put them right now in the bottom tier of everything. Sure, Washington's the worst, maybe, but the Bulls are 5-10. OKC's 10-4, and you're laying some points here with the Thunder today, and laying as many as 7 here right now, in the total about 225. So I don't know. Is it a discount? Is the move on the Bulls? All those uh, sharps hitting their apps early said, "Hey, got to come with the Bulls again. Why not?" They're so bad they've got to start to cover sooner or later. Well, they're 5-10 straight up. They're 5-10 against the spread. OKC doesn't matter, right? For the Thunder, look, we've said, sometimes you want the Thunder on the road only. You want to take them as an underdog only. Well, the Thunder are 11-3 against the spread. They're 5-2 against the spread as a home favorite. Totally getting it done right now, laying points even. So, when you got a team, a Thunder team that has a better spread record than a one-loss record, that's good news, man. That's good news. The Bulls just 1-4 straight up on the road so far. Thunder, I think this is a spot. Maybe they can get a price. I want to take the Thunder today. I'll look at the move just to see if they're going to calm me down from getting excited. I mean, I've seen plenty of moves here on Chicago. These sharps just taking their prices like they do. They don't even watch the games, right? I always love that. I like the guys. I'm starting to hear more and more like this NBA. I don't watch the games. I just, give out winners. What? What? I guess people do that. All right, give me OKC in this one. I understand handicappers, they have families, they have lives. I guess some of them have jobs. But I don't. I'm looking for the next winner. And, and then Chad said, I'm dedicated. I don't have anything to do tomorrow. I'll be here. You guys want to stop by? I'll be here. All right, give me the Thunder in this one. Clippers and Spurs. Maybe I've been going to the well too often with the Spurs this season, but I'm not going to stop, especially against team chemistry. No way can the Clippers cover not, can they? I guess they could win it by 20. They're supposed to be that much better than these Spurs. The Spurs have been downright bad. One of the worst teams in the league so far. Hasn't been good for Wembanyama to a certain extent. 9 points last game, whatever. Look, I came clear. I said he'll have plenty of bad games, and I still like him long term to be a top notch player. Probably not up to the standard. I mean, seem like Giannis. I don't know. I don't want to even compare players to a certain extent, but does feel like that type of player when he came into the league. And I don't know if he's going to be able to peak like that, like as quickly as Giannis did. But the Spurs are struggling to the number, but so are the Clippers. So Rodney says, don't forget the key player in all this. I mean, Vassal's missed so many games that maybe they would have been just a little bit better. He is questionable. I think that's a good sign for them. And the other thing, you talk about baked in the cake and all that, right? But you still want to have your player in there, especially when you're getting big time points like this. So I can't take team chemistry in this one. Not when this game is going to be. Look, what is it? 238.5, or is it higher? Because this one seems like now the widely reported steam came in on the under. I'm thinking almost like whatever, right? It doesn't feel like this thing could ever stay under. I'm not comparing it to last night's game, but this feels like a massive over to me. Maybe that's the way I should go. I'm starting to see a little bit of resistance. I mean, they are still going over, but this one is that total right, you guys? Actually, it's 230. Yeah, I knew it was 230 and a half, 231. Thank you. I'll call. In fact, I mean that if anything, that should have been a red lamp on my thing, right? Because I got this as a massive over. And I'll put it at 231. I'll put it at 232 right now, just to let you know. And I'm going to take the Spurs on the show, not to give away what I might be doing with premiums or privately, but you do have the Spurs play no defense, right? What would happen if the Spurs played the Pacers right now? The Spurs are 11-3 to the over, 7-1 to the over at home. Clippers a total under team, no doubt. We know the Clippers are going to be, when you got the Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he's not going to play as much defense in the regular season necessarily, but this team in general, I would think, has to be perceived as a defensive team, for the most part. And I think it's reflected in some of their scores. Yeah, has it been reflected because they haven't been very good with a 2-5 record on the road? Yeah, but note 4-7 to the under so far for the Clippers, including 7 of their last 10 games going under. But I'm going to take the Spurs here, plus a bushel full of points. And Vassal, game time decision. We want him in there. Yeah, when he's ruled in there with a spread move, maybe not too much. Vassal is a player that you guys know about, but he doesn't move the needle for the general public. So, all right. And anything else on that game, Rish, with Zach? Yeah, I don't know about that comment, Rish, a little bit. I thought, obviously some great news yesterday. Hopefully we can get some things worked out there. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, but I'm going to look at it as a positive yesterday from that region. Because I know you guys always want my takes on world politics. Brent's coming in with a blowout here. Clippers keep rolling. And, right, I always leave out. And, I don't want to leave out Paul George because I'm a Paul George fan. And, look, I have problems with team chemistry because of, Harden ruins everything. And, these guys will blow it in the end. Believe me. But I did give Harden credit the other night for his best game of the season. So, and again, I've joked about it, but I'm serious. Harden at this point in his career, whether you want to call him, overweight, chubby, whatever it is, he does to a certain extent, and he's always been that way. It's not even part of his gameness, but I'm talking about game shape. Harden plays his way into game shape. Is the way I feel about his current career situation. So there'll be plenty of good things for James Harden this year, but we're going to make fun of him when, uh, you know, I don't know. I would think it doesn't seem like a great guy to hang out with, right? Seems like a guy who wants to know he's the boss. Hi, Darren. Nice to see you. Grizzlies, Rockets. Well, the Grizzlies are in that bottom five for sure. And if look at this is a historical night for the Houston Rockets right now. They found themselves favored here in a game by 5.5 points. This is look, yeah, is it a sign of what's going on with these two teams? Sure. Is it a bit of a milestone for the Rockets? I think so. I think we could put the Rockets in the category of, vastly improved, uh, vastly improved teams. That's obvious. Against Memphis, pretty good matchup. I would think here. Houston is just going crazy right now. This is a great, great situation for them. They've uh, failed to cover in just one of their last 10 games. They're 5-1-1 against the spread so far at home. They're 6-1. Actually, I think pushed a game in there. I'm talking about their awesome spread record, but they're 6-1 straight up at home. 2-0 straight up at home as a favorite. The Rockets are just, one of the best, most improved teams right now. They got the most. You talk about some underrated players, and Sengun is among them right now. Schengen is. I hope I still have trouble with his name, but man, there's nothing wrong with his game. Alperen Sengun, just crushing it. Look at what he did last game. I mean, it was basically. A career game against the Warriors, 30 point. Yeah, I mean, he's had one other big game also this year, but 30 points on 13 of 23 shooting and 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and this is your center. So they are set for great, great things. It feels like in Houston right now. Um, Green, bro. Look, and that doesn't even account for the fact that the other one of the Amen Thompson hasn't. We'd like to see him eventually get back in there with that ankle injury. I mean, his brother's been terrific, obviously, so far this season, and I would think he'll be right up there. Maybe he's not the best of the two brothers, but anyways, Houston has been totally awesome so far. And you see with the Grizzlies, the Grizzlies have just been dismal. So, one interesting thing to note about the total, look at the low total in this game. That also is an interesting. Now, granted, Memphis will play you down, and they're going to try to do this to you, but it also says a little bit. This total opened as high as 216, and is seeing a lot of downward pressure here. I think it's probably going to end up under actually in this game. Not to say that so far Memphis hasn't played a few overs, but look at Houston. 4-8 to the under overall, 2-5 to the under at home. And just of note, Memphis, yeah, they're kind of split their game so far over under, but they are 2-4 to the under as an underdog. And interesting that in 13 games, they've only been an underdog 6 times. Yeah, well, early on, they were overrated, obviously, here at this point. So give me the over and the under. Make it clear. Make to be clear here in this one. I'm going to go under with the Grizzlies and the Rockets tonight, and let's just put me in the Rockets bandwagon a little bit. After all, they were the San Diego Rockets at one point. All right. There we go. All right. Let me get your comments on this game. Yeah, and let's not totally right. You're right, and let's not totally bury the Grizzlies. But unfortunately for the Grizzlies, you talk about the injuries that some of them are, and Darren says completely different. They're playing completely different, and there's a little bit of changes, but uh, there's some guys that right Green, Smith, there's some guys that were there, Brooks, right, that from last year. And the other thing, Memphis, I'm going under, but Memphis hasn't really. I think they just pace it down. They don't look great defensively. And again, you talk about the injuries. Fernando says they've got to wake up here somewhere. Fernando says and find a way to get a win here soon. The one thing that I was talking about necessarily with the Grizzlies injuries is with guys like Clark and Adams and the jaw suspension. These are major impact, right? It's not like a guy is going to come back from a turned ankle in a week or two or whatever. I mean, these guys are out for the season. They're out for a third of the season. And look, Jaw's going to come back soon, and he's probably going to be a house of fire. And I hope for everybody's sake that he can, kind of turn it around a little bit. And Thomas remembers when he was back with Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson. All right, give me the under in this one. 76ers and Wolves. 76ers will be the team on the back-to-back. You guys will mention it there. And, ultimate caution here with this team. And look at that line now. This is not indicative of the fact that, like last year, maybe it would be, right? But, this line has gone up from an opener of as low as 1. Now, I think that tough to say what that was based on, and it wasn't really ever widely available. But with this Timberwolves team right now, obviously, I don't want to say no fluke. I do feel like there's got to be some regression coming soon. But I think when you talk about the type of defense Minnesota is playing, right? I would think if anything, you'd look at a team. Oh, they're really getting off to a hot start shooting. They're really playing well offensively. I think defense is something that doesn't necessarily regress as much, right? Offense could regress more than defense because defense is about effort, strategy, concentration, matchups as well. So the Wolves are favored here by 5.5 points. Yeah, I think it's gone down. Some people have wised up to this, and maybe the Wolves are down to 4.5. Well, anything, it seems like they're just that seems like the square move to a certain extent. Yeah, is it hard for the Wolves to cover some numbers? Well, not so far. They're 6-0 against the spread at home. The crazy thing about the 76ers is, unlike the Bucks, where they can't cover their spreads, the Sixers are just demolishing everybody and covering spreads left and right. Now, did they fail at home in that game yesterday? Yeah, good job by the by the Cavs. I'm looking at the red court right now on the monitor here, and the game went into overtime. We know that. But Philadelphia, they have that 10-4 record straight up. They're 10-4 against the spread. They're 4-1 against the spread at home. 4-1 straight on the road. Sorry, 4-1 against the spread and straight up on the road. So I I think those are some of the factors for me that, certainly think that Philadelphia. I love teams that win. I love teams that cover, no doubt about it. But here, I think I'm going to have to look to. I'm going to look to go under in the game. I know that these teams have been going over so far this season. Philadelphia, these two teams have combined to go 17-10 to the over so far this season. But I think for Minnesota, I'm talking up their defense. They're not necessarily going under. Like an overwhelming under at this point, although at home they do have three unders so far. Three of their five unders have been at home. And you guys are hot on this game with this being the big game. Oops. Here we go. Darren says Philly covers first quarter. Wolves to win on the money line. Sixers to get the money, says Brent. Yeah, I think they did, Chad, because of the, I don't know. Rich says fatigue for the Sixers after the overtime last night. Thomas says this could be too good a game. Sixers off of a loss. You got to take the points here, he says, don't you? And you hope, right? I mean, hopefully this guy figures it out. It just, you hate the guy, right? You don't hate the guys. I'm trying to just, but they say one thing to the fans and then they go right back and do it again. Right? Or they do it to prove like nobody's going to tell me what to do. And that all comes down to professionalism. Did anybody see the comments from Tom Brady when CJ Stroud, they were on Tom's podcast, and CJ Stroud asked Tom about when you were just starting to realize that it seemed like he was asking when you were just starting to realize that you had what it takes to be a star. I think the same kind of feelings that CJ Stroud is starting to feel a little bit, like how to corral all this energy because people are just, he's getting so much attention, right? And Tom said, just be a professional. You are a professional. This is your job. When people are coming into town, they want to go to a dinner or whatnot. They're in to have a good time, watch the game, come to the game, whatever, go to dinner after the game. No distractions. Don't do distractions. And John Morant, his life is a distraction. CJ Stroud, grew, his dad got jailed, 37 years in jail. He grows up, or in high school, he lives on top of a storage facility, and all he does is go to football practice. And CJ Stroud is now going to be the man because of, unfortunate circumstances, but you grow up fast and you realize. All right, where did I leave off before I went off on another tangent? The Warriors and the Suns. Oh, this was supposed to be a good game. It still is, obviously. We're going to give the Suns a big chance. Hey, you know what? Let's actually end up giving the Suns a little bit of credit for holding things together a little bit. And, coming out of this right now with a winning record so far. In fact, a better record than the Warriors. How did that happen, right? I mean, we were wondering what's up with the Suns with these injuries. What's going to happen? Beal's still out. We know that. Dre's out for the Warriors, and the Suns have gained favoritism here at -2. And that total, I know that total's gone. I know that total has gone down. Just want to mention right now the Bucks are taking steam in their game against the Celtics. I know we laid the Celtics. We're going to get a little bit of value here because the Bucks, that one is on the move, and Sharps are taking the Bucks right now. I don't think I could go back and check out the injury report. I'm already on the record, so just see what's up with that if you guys have anything, because I'm showing that total moving lower and the move to the Bucks. So is anything going on with that Boston personnel? Let me know. All right. Here in this one, though, with the Warriors and the Suns, yeah, this total has moved considerably lower. I'm showing right now 231s are out there.
Steam play.
And there's that. So there is steam coming in on the Bucks and the Celtics under right now as well. So when a coordinated move there, Bucks and under, makes me wonder if there's not a personnel issue with the Celtics. I've got to type. I've got to look. I can't. I know we're on this game. I've got to type it into the old Twitter machine, I think, here. And so it could be just a move, but usually when I see a move on the side and the total at one point, okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, Jason Tatum, a non-COVID illness for Jason Tatum. He is questionable now, could miss, but it is an illness tonight for Jason Tatum. This one's just come across the wire. In fact, it's come directly from the Celtics uh, Twitter. That Jason Tatum questionable tonight, and that's why you're here with me on the morning steam. People will hum and speculate. You getting it live right here with me, Ramon Scott, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on the 40,000 subscriber juggernaut, Tony's Picks YouTube channel. All right. Can't go back now. I'm on the Celtics, but hey, remember if the line goes down, I get the better line. Okay. Right, Thomas? We give you the info live. Reese, thank you for your picks as well. Juan says, "Give me Phoenix." Brent gives you his pick as well. Thomas says, right there under. Don't forget about Dre. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's two ways to look at that. I think Thomas is talking about Dre's, um, and if anything, the league should do more about players that really, do show poor form a little bit because it's not professional, and this is supposed to be professional basketball. All right. Thank you, Juan. Yep, we want to get you the info. So we'll interrupt for breaking news, certainly. Also, let me see here. Okay, interesting to note. Also, a report. I want to look at Jaylen Brown. Do the Celtics have do the Celtics have the flu? You guys, is that what we're starting to see here? Possibly, if this is the case, you're going to see this line move down big time here a little bit. I mean, you're already probably going to see it here, but I also saw a report just now, maybe Jaylen Brown uh, could also have a little bit of a bug. So the Tatum feels more official because that was from the Twitterverse directly, the Boston Twitter account. The Jaylen Brown has just come across on the line service. That one needs a little bit more investigating because I'm not necessarily seeing Brown on any report that I can find. Okay, we're doing this in the middle of the show, though. And when you see that, right, when a team has the bug, uh, they're in trouble that night. So I know we're on the Celtics. I'll stick by it, but little caveat there, especially if you hear any kind of Brown news too, where two guys, because it's not going to be then all three guys. Breaking news coming across right now. Joel Embiid tonight. Possible rest tonight. Maybe that was the influence of the line, right? When I saw that opener at 1 and then 5.5, look, the Wolves have been great, but when I saw the 5.5, I was like, oh, this must be the rest night for Embiid. And if he gets ruled out of this game, the line's probably going to move even a little bit higher for the Wolves. In fact, I'm showing it now 5.5, 6. The Wolves on the move now as this breaking news that it could be a rest night for Joel Embiid, just coming out right now. And when Joel Embiid gets the designation of possible rest, usually it's bound to happen. So we're already on the under there. Probably want to get on the Wolves right now. This line's on the move. Could be just based on the news. Chad said, I called it. I didn't have to wait for the news. And you're getting it here officially from me right now. Chad called it. Look, I think we all called it. We called it in the preview, right? Joel Embiid, overtime game, back to back. I'll go on the road now. Look, it's a big game, but it's not the, you know what, everybody, the in-season tournament. Hey, all those haters out there, don't watch it. Don't watch it in season. Go away. Go away. We don't want you. In-season tournaments brought some excitement to this, and all those hater. I'm like, whatever. You guys are, behind the times. Look, even I wanted the designated hitter in the National League after a while. All right, that's why you're here. Got to the breaking news. Oh, did I make a pick on the Warriors and the Suns? Better do that. Oh, I think I did say because of that move to the under, right? And we did update it at 231.5, and that's the way I'm going. I'm going under Warriors and Suns. Man, this show's taking a long time. Here's the Jazz and the Trail. We're still on the NBA. We've been doing it for an hour. How are we going to finish the hockey? Jazz and Trailblazers here. Jazz on the two bad teams, certainly with bad records right now. The Jazz are broken. The Blazers have had, some personnel issues certainly right now, and I'm still kind of like pro Blazer, and I don't know, I'm kind of still pro Jazz. Look, the Jazz are 4-10 straight up, but they're 7-7 against the spread. They're also 2-0 as a favorite already this season. So can they get the money here against the Blazers? I want to try to find a spot somewhere for the Blazers. This would have to be it, wouldn't it? I don't want to trust the Jazz necessarily here. I mean, I like the Blazers in this one. The line's 3. It's up to 2. It's down to 225.5. I want Portland. I don't care. Look, I like Utah moving forward. I think that when I see teams that aren't covered, look, Utah's a better spread team than Portland so far, but they are 2-5 against the spread on the road. Portland's 1-5 against the spread at home, and they have all sorts of issues, right? Brent said right there, and yeah, the Jazz 10-4 to the over so far this season. 7 of their last 10 have gone over, and Portland, if anything, they're 2-4 to the under at home, and I think that's, I don't know. I kind of favor the under a little bit in the game. Let me take a look at I thought there was widely reported steam that actually came. No, not necessarily. All right, let's just stick with the Blazers at this point. I want the Blazers plus points at home. Yeah. Do they have issues? You bet they do. Like I said, Utah, they're the better spread team right now. But in Portland, look, their issues are glaring. Everybody's seen it right now. They've lost their last 7 games by 10 points or more, something like that. Right now, they really are in a funk. But I'm taking the Blazers. Give the Blazers here. I might even take them I might even take them straight up. Quite frankly. This is a team that I think that they can find a victory with here tonight, with Ayton. Great point here by Barton with Malcolm Brogdon's return to the lineup. Yeah, I mean, we know the Blazers are on a back-to-back, but Brogdon last night, I thought, probably didn't quite exceed expectations. But when you're on, missed 5 games in a row, Brogdon still 25 minutes, 19 points. So that's saying something, right? If anything, the production was only limited by the fact that he only played 25 minutes and a hamstring injury. So give me Portland tonight. Yeah, Brogdon is key for that team to come back. And of course, Simons. And they have other injuries too. I mean, you can't even mention Robert Williams anymore. He's out for the season, but Scoot's been out. Ish Wainwright has been out. So, all right, that's it. That is it. Oh no, one more. Haha. I know. Just my Lakers. That's all. And they're taking on the Mavericks tonight in a pretty good ball game. Pretty good ball game. The Mavs, they're actually a surprise for me at this point with their 9-5 record, especially after the first couple of games. And look, I think Irving is a problem guy a little bit here, but I think a key player out. I think Cam Reddish. Let's see, what is his status here? Reddish, is he out of this game? I know you guys might not. Let me see here. He is doubtful with a groin injury here. Okay. I mean, it's not a major thing, but all right. Chad talking about that game we were talking about. Okay, here we go. Mavericks and Lakers, two good teams so far. Mavericks 5-3 against the spread on the road so far this season. And well, yeah. Where's Brent? Brent said, I've been pretty much off on my Lakers this year, and that when I go against them, when I go with the Lakers, they fail. What was it, Brent? When I go against the Lakers, they get it done. When I go with the Lakers, they get blown out. So I'm a Lakers fan. I want them to win, so I'm supposed to take Dallas. This isn't the way to handicap. I do know that Luka Doncic should probably have a monster game in this one, but Fernando says go under here today with these two teams. And let me see how the moves have kind of went on this, because certainly Dallas is a massive over. We know that, but the Lakers have been a solid under so far. Chad says Mavs to roll the Lakers tonight. Lakers on the back-to-back, right? If any team is set up for the back-to-back factor, it feels like the Lakers. It feels like LeBron. Look, so many things in this league are, I don't know. I think LeBron's in the commissioner's ear a little bit. I think it's more the players' association and all that. But I don't know. I see the Lakers had crushed through 4 games of the in-season tournament. It seems to me they want to win LeBron likes the in-season tournament. And one day later, when you have a not so in-season tournament, I don't know. What could this be the game that LeBron has the rest? A little bit, I don't know. Not at this point, and especially if they're a little bit shorthanded. Here, LeBron's been amazing, actually. Right, you guys? I mean, I don't think there's any question. I'm not ever gonna, because I'm a James fan. I'm not one who's gonna be critical. I think I've went through my whole spiel regarding LeBron, and anybody who's a hater is just want to, they want to be that guy. They want the attention for themselves. But Dallas 7-7 against the spread, despite that strong 9-5 record so far. The Lakers, they've won 7 of 8 games at home so far this season. That's pretty impressive, considering some of the woes that they've had. I will note the Lakers are just 1-3, however, as an underdog so far this season. And now they're getting 3 points here. So a little bit of a move here today on Dallas. I don't know what this indicates. Like I said, to me, if LeBron is going to be, Mr. Mr. Get the Rest. We did see a milestone last night, too. Don't want to slight that. LeBron, first ever to score 39,000 points. I guess we're just going to celebrate every time he goes over another 1,000 points. But the move here is on Dallas to -3. And for what reason? Other than the Lakers back to back from the game yesterday against the Jazz that they smashed them. That Brent said that Brent said it would be a smashing. Juan says take Dallas. Thomas says I like the Lakers, even though it feels like a bad spot for them. There's Brent's pick on the game. He says Mavs by 8. So take the Mavs. He also has a total up there right where it looks like it belongs at this point. All right. Well, look, I want to try the Mavs here, kind of. I mean, they're the one that they're on the move here in this one, right? So I don't know. If anything, though, you see a total like this going high, 238. There's no value left. That's going to be my play. I'll take the over with Dallas and the Lakers here tonight. Give me the over. And we'll move on. We got to keep it moving with the NHL tonight. Let's actually go. All right. I know we got a basketball game here, college game starting, and I was going to actually preview it because it's an early start. Hope you don't mind if we go to the college basketball first, you guys. I know hockey is why you come here. Objections now, you guys, if there's a problem. But I got one game I was going to preview, the early start here with Iona and Buffalo. I know I'm going to look at a bunch of good games here, but let's keep the basketball theme if we can. Anybody, any objections? Speak now or forever. Okay. Anyways, let's go through this college basketball card because there's one early start in college with, I think. Make sure I got this right. With Iona and Buffalo, this is game 7:05, 7:06. Top of the board. We're just going to start it with this one because we're on the air and we'll be on the air. So let's have a play with these two teams as the day gets started. And so we'll pick it, even though it's not the marquee matchup. Why not? So far, you have a Buffalo, both teams coming in with poor records. So we're not previewing it because it's a great game, just because it's going to be going on when we're previewing it here. These two teams are combined 2-7 overall. Iona's favored here by big move here. We've seen the move already come in on Buffalo. Iona was 9. It's all the way down to 6.5. Pretty sharp move here as well on the total lower. Man, what's going on here with this one? If anything, it's screaming Buffalo and under. So far, Iona is 0-2 on the road so far on the road this season. Now, this is a neutral game, but I think that's of note here. But big time move here to Buffalo and the under. Wow. Make sure I kind of want to peek at the steam of this game and see what the true move was before I make the call, because I think I'm going to end up being on the short end of some points here. Thank you, Brent. Take care. Iona here. Thomas needs this one to get tomorrow's turkey. All right. Anyways, continuing on a little bit with these two clubs, like I said, for definitely poor teams so far, but Iona at least has a couple of covers so far, and do you see a play coming in here for Solo? It says Buffalo. I took Iona -6 on that. Off that crazy move a little bit. And I'm going to end up picking both sides in total. I think this was totally gotten away from me. I wasn't going to go premium anyways, but man, that's just a huge move, kind of indicative of what I was already going to do. I wanted to take the points with Buffalo, and I wanted to go under. I can't do it now. Boy, this just feels like I got totally jobbed. And all I was doing was sitting here putting together a show. 6.5, 144, no doubt about it. in game 705, 706. Buffalo and under. It's the move. It's the widely reported team. There's no value in this play, you guys. I'll take Buffalo. I'll take under. There's absolutely no value left in this. If you want the value, take Iona and the over. If you want strictly the value. And that's my assessment. So when some people come out and say, oh, the value's on this team, I'm taking the no value here. I'm going Buffalo and under. No value at all. Can't give out a premium play. Uh, Probably not even advisable. But I want Buffalo and under. I think that's the way it is. I think I've totally missed the boat. And if you want the value, because that way the line is moved against you, then you are on Iona and the over. Enough said. Let's get through the good games here and get to that hockey. I'll try to get you out of here in a little over 2 hours. Tomorrow we'll be back with you. Michigan and Memphis, a pretty good one here. This one is being played. They're in Atlantis today. I did see another one. Okay, maybe we can get to those other games, the requests. I saw it. We'll do this one first, but I did see another game in Atlantis that was asked about. So we'll preview that as well. Memphis here against Michigan. Really good matchup with Memphis favored here by a point or so. I'm showing them now maybe 1.5 and the total. Yeah, about 143.5. This one goes off at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific. And I think for me here, look, you got Memphis 3-0, Michigan 3-1 right now. Steady move to the under. The Sharps are hitting the under big time here, and I don't know why. I mean, what gives? I know it's gone all the way down here to what, 153.5 from a high of 158.5. Okay, maybe we put it too high. Maybe there's some secret strategy that we don't know that, you know, people sitting here just on YouTube, I don't know yet. Do I need to go back and look what's gone in the preparation? Is it anything to do with what I was talking about last game? Because so far, Michigan's 4-0 to the over. Memphis, 2-0 to the over is a favorite. I'm not sure what gives here. I mean, Michigan is looking like a really strong offensive team. They're one of the highest scoring teams in the country so far. Now, I know Memphis is probably going to be known for their defense this season. They're already ranking pretty high in limiting teams to, field goals inside the arc. They're one of the best teams in the country right now. They also are a top 15 team, I think, in steals so far this season. So maybe that's where the defensive aspect of this game is coming into play. The Sharps have been pounding this one under. I don't see it. I see it as a high-scoring game. And maybe this is where I spent all day yesterday. This is where I need to make the determination of whether or not I'm getting it right. Because maybe I was, hey, oh my gosh, I want to say hello and welcome to Scott Borgamenki here today. He's got the SVP. Looks like there in his avatar, but hope I got that right. Scott Borgamenki could be Borgamenki, I guess, as well. Let me know, Scott. But it's just an honor, pleasure to have you here, making to me, or your first comment that I've seen. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Here's Solo with Memphis. Appreciate your other plays in there. I see with Thomas in there, and Cindy's here today as well. It says in that Buffalo game first half. Yeah, Cindy, I would. Anything that I do suggest. I mean, I don't want to make it ever where just blindly, but if I'm on a side, I'm probably going to say I'm never going to take the other side. Rarely am I going to do a game script like that. Only in the biggest of games when you can have a full handicap can you go like one team first half, one team second half type of thing, or fading it. Obviously, you could just not play it. But Only like if Super Bowl, like, oh, one team they're always great in the first half and then they're terrible, something like that, and a big game where you could game script and just enjoy yourself. All right. Anyways, Michigan and Memphis. I better make the call here, and my call is over, you guys. Let me take it. I'm gonna take a drink of Pepsi here. Hold on. All right. Sharps are all over the under in this one. It seems like a unanimous Sharps under, the way I see it. And the way, hey, hopefully you guys are coming here because I know who the Sharps are on, and I think they're all over the under, and I'm going to fade them today. I'm going to go over in this one. If you think the Sharps are on the other side, I'm not going to argue with you. It's all speculative. Just put it in the chat. I won't even debate it with you. I just read the market, and I'm trying to determine who I think the Sharps are on. And when I say the Sharps, I just mean the best betters. I don't mean anybody in particular. I'm just saying the way the bets kind of come in and the way the line moves. All right. A few more in college basketball here, and we'll get that massive hockey card. And I've got Arkansas here against Stanford. And this one comes to us, of course, on this big. Make sure I get it right here. There we go. This is in more tournament action at Atlantis. This is the game after I saw you, North Carolina, Northern Iowa pick there. We'll get to that one too. You asked for it, so it's a 9:00 start. This one is at 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific with Arkansas and Stanford. Both teams come in with a 3-1 record currently. Arkansas here favorite -7. And maybe you call it 6.5 now. Here's another total, totally dropping lower. Did we see something? That I missed something? Were there a bunch of unders last night? Usually I'm the guy that comes in here and says, wow, look at all these unders in this. Yeah, you guys are the closest thing to friends I've got, Thomas. And so that's what concerns me a little bit. Man, all these totals just totally getting hammered down. This one opened as high as, I think, $1, as high as 160. And now we're dealing with a 153 in this one. So, look, I'm going to end up taking the points here with Stanford in this game. Like I said, both teams come in right now with a 3-1 record. This is the late game at Atlantis. And this total just keeps getting slammed, hit under. I almost trust the move on this one. I wanted to go under that big number, but didn't do it. I'm going to go double play here. Give me Stanford. Give me the under tonight. There's a ton of games, and I can give away 2 picks here. I can go with the side and total. Give me Stanford. Give me the under. Look, this thing just got steamed a half an hour ago, down from 153 and a half to 153 on a very, very solid move. There is a couple of groups that are moving that have been very, very solid this year, and I wouldn't hesitate to roll with these guys right now. I'm going under. Okay, Florida and Pittsburgh. I keep forgetting about that. North Carolina and I should have done it before the meet. In fact, we'll do it right now. North Carolina and Northern Iowa was asked about, so I'll just go back and kind of on a whim here. I don't necessarily have a full-on preview for the game, but man, you know what? In this one, the Sharps, this is one where they've been pounding the over in this one with North Carolina and Northern Iowa. Sharps have taken this one from 147.5 all the way up to 150, and then it looks like right back down again to no, it looks like it's still 150-ish, right? It's been on the move higher here, North Carolina and Northern Iowa, but I don't like it. I don't like it over. No matter what the Sharps are doing necessarily on this one, I kind of want to go under in this game. So let me do that. I'm going to go under 150 in the North Carolina and Northern Iowa game. You guys asked for a pick on it, and I don't know if I can uh, get together with that spread right now of what is it, 12 and a half for Carolina. I have mixed feelings on a whim here on that. I think if anything, I would look anytime you got these kind of early season teams laying these type of double digits in the neutral games. I lean towards the favorites in that one, but not at 12 and a half. So let me take the under with North Carolina and Northern Iowa. So far, North Carolina is 1-2 to the under so far this season. They went under against Riverside, held Riverside to 52. They held Lehigh to 68, and Northern Iowa, they scored just 65 points against USF, 77 against North Texas, and six. So let me take the under. Okay, back to a few more games here that I had scheduled to look at, including Florida and Pittsburgh. This one is at the NIT tip off in Brooklyn with Florida and Pittsburgh. This is game number 751, 752. I'm showing Florida is up to a 5-point favorite. I'm going to need two hands to type in this one. Florida up to a 5-point favorite. The total is about 155 and a half right now. So pretty big move on Florida so far, having opened as low as -2.5. I don't know if I trust the move necessarily on Florida at this point, but I'm not necessarily against it either. But I think for me, more so, I think this one, this might be unpopular, but I'm going to go over with Florida and Pittsburgh. It's already been on the move. It was as high. I saw the highest point 157, and it got hit under. I've also seen it get as low as 154, but for me, I think I'll just end up on the over this massive total of 155 and a half with Florida and Pittsburgh tonight. That one's on ESPN2. NIT season tip-off. Didn't preview the other game unless you guys are into it, but Baylor's playing Oregon State out there in that other game. So Solo says, give me Florida to smash in this one. And Scott, thank you again for your comments today. Let me know if you've been here, have you been watching and just wanted to comment for the first time. So appreciate you very much. All right, this is the big one tonight, and we'll probably end it right here with Purdue and Marquette. This is the big game of the day, the biggest game of the season, I'd have to say, even though I just said that about another game the other night, but it does feel like this is the biggest game right now at this point of the season. You definitely have, two top, I don't know, top 4, top 5, top 3. Where do you want to put Marquette at this point? You saw them yesterday get the better of Kansas. Go home, Kansas. Go home, Bill Self. Go count your money. You can make fun of Shaka. Hey, even I've had some expense at Shaka Smart, a little bit. Kind of hard, he's easy to pick on, but it's hard to find fault in the way he does things here. And I would think against Purdue, give me the money line. I want Marquette to win this game. Do you want me to, preview it, break it down, or just give you the pick and move on? I want Marquette to beat Purdue here. Look, Purdue, they've gotten it together right a little bit. Yeah, was there a little bit of a scare there? Kind of in that last game, yeah, maybe there was, and maybe it did make it a little bit tough there. In fact, they were down. They were down early, kind of big, and they just kept coming back against Gonzaga. Remember that? Just kept picking on them there a little bit, it seemed like. So I want Marquette. What time is this one? I think I might have had the game time wrong. But nonetheless, this is the featured game of the night. Oh, yeah, here's why. Again, this one is at 5 Eastern and 2 Pacific. Put it right in the best time as far as some TV is concerned. I get it. You don't want to play this one too late and have everybody out, but I'm on Marquette. Solo as well. Hey, DeAndre, Dean is here. He wants to know about the other game in the. If we preview this game, we'll just end up giving out all 4 games of the Bahamas. So okay, I will. I'm already on Marquette, you guys, to beat Purdue. Marquette will be the number 1 team in the country on Monday. How about that? When they beat Purdue tonight, Shaka Smart will have Marquette number 1. How about that? All right. Maybe we could take a look at this one too. Villanova and Texas Tech. DeAndre has been nice to us so far in joining. Let me get that banner off. Marquette. I'm taking Marquette over Purdue money line. All right. Let me see here. Okay, so I do have a banner for this one. Maybe I was going to preview it after all. What happened was actually, I got to be honest with you, I have a play on the side, and it is on the. I made it a premium, so I'll just give out the total. DeAndre said, "What do you think of this one with Tech and Villanova?" Well, Tech's gone 0-3. All 3 games have gone under so far this season for Tech. Now Villanova has gone over in their only game away from home. This is a neutral here, obviously, but I think for me, I'm going to go over with one. Let me look. Is it 129.5 still? I know I'm bucking that big Texas Tech. Yeah, it's 129.5. I think I'm probably bucking that big Texas Tech move to a certain extent. That move on the total here, or the Texas Tech being 3 unders, basically what I'm trying to say. But I'll go over this one, 129.5. DeAndre. Final. Yep. Yeah, and right, and you're always going to get that with Shaka Smart. I don't think that what he teaches is not some fluky. We got really good defensive players or whatever, right? This is going to be his calling card until the end of his career. Shaka Smart and that defense. He's got people to buy into it. Maybe this is totally maybe Texas. Maybe that wasn't the right spot for Shaka, but I think here this might be the spot for Smart. All right, let's move on. We got to get to hockey. This is what you came for, and we're already at 8 o'clock here, and so we got to get these. And we've got so many games. How are we going to get this done in a half an hour? No handicaps, just picks. Easy for me. I don't have to handicap. I just pick the games. Okay. Here we go. Let's get to it. Help if I, didn't have to spend a minute on searching for the banners and everything to start the show. Here we go. And get everything situated and whatnot. All right, I'm just about ready. You guys, thanks for your patience. Sabres and Caps. Capitals favored at home. Capitals have done a nice job pretty much at home this season. The Sabres actually have been a little bit of a challenge, it feels like, on the road to a certain extent. As I don't know, as good as I've kind of been a little bit of a Sabres backer here, I think, so far this season. They are just 8-9-1 overall, but 10-8 on the puck line. These 2 teams have combined to go 10 overs and 23 unders so far this season between these two teams. Wow, how about that? And for Washington, like I said, at home, it's just been a little bit better, I think, for them so far. They're kind of beyond that slow start. I mean, look, they're now 9-4-2 so far this season. Is Washington, so things have been doing pretty good. To me, though, it feels like the Sharps are on Buffalo here. I'm here to determine who the Sharps are on. And I might try just in this spot to fade Washington here today. I don't know. Can I do it? I think I've had a good read. We kind of came off of Washington early and we're back on them. But so far, like I said, Buffalo at home so far. Look, it hasn't been, I mean, sorry, on the road so far. 4-4-1. They're just a 500 team so far this season. Washington, though, they've actually done some of their best work on the road, but they are still 6-3-1 at home. The Sharps are on Buffalo, though, and it has me interested in Buffalo. Nobody's interested, it looks like, in this game here, so maybe I can take them to a certain extent. I feel like it will be an under game, though, with these two teams. And go ahead, let's go under in this one for the pick. I'm going to stay off the side at this time and just go with the under. The Sharps are pounding this one pretty hard. In fact, I'm sure it's juiced up or juiced down, I should say. I own a 10-0 run to start the game against Buffalo. So much for that. Pick. So much for that fade. 13-0. Timeout. All right, give me the under in this one. It's mostly 6.5 under 20, although I am showing now some 6 overs. So interesting. This one has moved lower, and let me grade it tough. I'll call it 6 over 20. Grade me on 6. You can get 6.5s out there. I'll take the under in this one. Devils and Red Wings. We keep it going here with the Red Wings. Yeah, I'm showing Vanacek. I'm showing Lyon likely in goal in this one. Sharps pounding the under here in a game where these two teams have been solid overs so far this season. No doubt about it. The teams have combined to go 23-8-1 to the over so far this season. Now, New Jersey, they have an 8-7-1 record, but 4-12 on the puck line so far. They are not to be trusted. It doesn't feel like necessarily. Maybe in the role, I don't know. So far, New Jersey, they are 5-3 record on the road so far. But Detroit, they've been a pretty solid team at home, 5-3-2. If anything, they've been a little bit overvalued to a certain extent, and seems like a massive over when you think of what these two teams are capable of. But again, there's no sevens necessarily out there right now. In fact, I'm showing mostly some 6.5 overs currently in this one. So probably going to end up just trusting the Sharps here, even though this has been a massive feels like these two teams are over teams. I'm going to end up on the under here. So, all right, give me the under. Give me the under. I'm going to side with the Sharps here in this one, even at 6.5 over. I will take it under. Oilers, Hurricanes, NHL action here for Wednesday. And I don't know, it looks like a pretty good spot maybe for the Hurricanes in this one, with the Oilers coming in looking so dismal. Skinner's in there against Antti Raanta. And It's just been a disaster, one thing after another for the Oilers at this point. Total seems to be getting hit pretty hard by the Sharps on the over. That's the way I would look. I can't see it going any other way. There's not a lot of trends that would say these guys are big time over teams, just not really trusting the Edmonton defense at this point. Whatever's going on with their defense, with their goalkeeping, whatever. Edmonton 9-6-2 to the over so far. 4-13 on the puck line. That's not good. And but I will note that Carolina, for their 10-7 record, they are 6-11 on the puck line. They're laying it here, but probably trust them to win this game. Give me the over with Edmonton and the Hurricanes tonight. And Blackhawks and Blue Jackets, you got a couple of goalies with a lot of M's, a lot of Z's, a lot of K's in there. Mrazek and Merzlikins. Let me make sure of that matchup, actually. Yeah, maybe it will be Mrazek and Merzlikins here in this one with Chicago on the road. Two bad teams here, no doubt about it. In fact, Chicago has the better record coming in at 5-11, and Columbus at 4-11-4 thus far this season. You have right now for Chicago, even though 5-11 record, they are 8-8 on the puck line so far this season. For Columbus, for their 4-11-4, they're 11-8 on the puck line, but a lot of those have been as puck line dogs. Here we're asking them to be favorites here tonight. These two teams kind of point under a little bit in this situation. Now, in general, Chicago 6-9 to the under, Columbus 11-8 to the over. But I will note that Columbus at home, most of their unders have been at home and as a favorite. So maybe it is an under spot right now, but Chicago's been extremely profitable when it comes to on the road so far this season. It's been a great run for Chicago away from home as far as getting the money, right? Chicago 4-6 on the road. They're up 3 3/4 units on the road. It's where they played their best hockey so far. In Columbus, they've just been bad altogether. They've lost now 9 straight games. They're definitely in big trouble right now without much hope. I do see a little bit of steam that did come in on them. I don't trust any steam that's coming in right now on Columbus as a favorite. I'm more interested in Chicago here. I know the puck line price is just awful. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. Probably something I'm willing to take. Or maybe I'll just take a money line. I mean, Columbus can't win. Chicago's actually having. Buffalo's way ahead here. I think it's I know you guys got a little different here. I was talking about the Buffalo Sabres, but in that basketball game, I'm showing Iona way out in front, Thomas. So I think Google, I'll check. Let me check one more thing here. It's on commercial right now for me. So. And again, a lot of the time, these tournament games, you have the wrong team. They end up with like the wrong team because sometimes the home team and the road teams are wrong because it's just a designation. So I'm showing Iona though out to the big lead here and on top 22-7 at this point. Okay, let's continue on with hockey there. Did I get my pick in on the Blackhawks? Like I said, Columbus, whatever it is, they appear to be broken. Like I said, there was a move on the Blackhawks that, let's see, I think it was like $1.30 or something. Yeah. $1.30. So, all right. I don't want the Blackhawks at that puck line price. Just give them to me Straight up, Blackhawks on the road. Columbus loses their 10th in a row tonight. Bruins and Panthers here. Look, you got the mighty Bruins on the road, but they're taking on the Panthers. This is serious. This is one of the best games of the day for sure. Allmark going up against Bob in this one. You got Boston with their awesome record. There's no stopping Boston at this point. 13 wins, one loss in regulation. 13 1-3 overall. Florida 12 5-1. They've done a terrific job as well. Florida's just been terrific. And in this one, for me, look, there's been all kinds of two-way action here, but I'm on Florida tonight. Come on, I've got to look for a spot. I need a drink of Pep. All right, too many games here today. Let's get this show over with. Give me the Panthers tonight. Sorry, guys, I'm taking the Panthers here. This one, even against the awesome Bruins. Try to finish the show here. But I think for me, the key factor here is Florida playing, pretty darn well right now. No doubt about it. Couple of wins, of course. Yeah, they beat Edmonton. They beat Anaheim. They lost to the Kings, right? 2-1. Yeah, 2-1 in that game. They ended up beating the Sharks as well. But just a good run here for the Panthers. I think, if anything, you could look at that Bruins price and say that maybe you're getting a discount here with the Bruins, but I'm kind of also looking at it as if I've got to try to find any spot at all. Can Boston show a little bit of vulnerability here? I'm taking the Panthers tonight to win over Boston. This should be a real good game, of course. So this is a game of the night, I think, in the National Hockey League. So I'm going to end up taking Florida here in this one. They're 7-1 at home so far. Yeah, Thomas, we'll have it. They were trying to talk me into going out for the family wanted to go out in public and do the dining thing. I hate to trouble people. I know they're already working and they're there to make money. And, I know if I do, I'm pretty generous on holidays. Someone who worked many, many holidays, Thanksgivings especially, um, uh, in the past. So, all right, I'm gonna take the Panthers here in this one. Like I said, they're 7-1 at home so far this season. Are the Panthers, and well, in a big game like this against the Bruins, I'm gonna, of course, end up taking them. Remember, they did play that awesome series last year in Florida. Remember, they won those 3 straight games in the playoffs to eliminate Boston. Now, Boston has already come back and beaten Florida this year about 3 weeks ago now, 3-2. Jets and the Lightning. Let's keep this one going and get this show over with here with the Jets on the road. They're a dog here, but it's moving in the Jets' direction. I'm showing Tampa Bay here $1.15 now, maybe even just a slight favorite here necessarily against the Jets. And I don't know, the action's been coming in pretty fast and furious on Winnipeg here today on the road against Tampa Bay. I don't know if I was necessarily seeing it that way. I kind of thought Tampa Bay was the right side. But let me get your opinions here in this one. You got a couple of teams in the Jets and Lightning that kind of produce overs here for the most part. Maybe that could be the direction I could go because Winnipeg, these two teams have gone 20 overs, 14 unders so far this season. Winnipeg, this is a good game. Winnipeg comes in 10-5-2. Tampa Bay 9-6-4. Both teams pretty strong right now on the puck line as well. So, like I said, this action's kind of been flying here in on Winnipeg um, over the last hour or so. Let's see, an hour and a half ago, a big move came in on Winnipeg that's pretty impressive. So I don't know this game. This one might be the low confidence game of the day, is what it feels like. Winnipeg is very poor as an underdog so far this season. However, just 1-5. Tampa Bay 6-2 at home so far this season. So I'm gonna probably have to trust the Lightning here to get this done. I want to give a little bit of respect to Winnipeg and the sharp move that's come in, but my pick before the show was Tampa Bay, and I'm going to stick with it. And after all, I mean, the picks must work. I mean, we're obviously been clicking in NHL. So let's go here with the Penguins, with the Rangers and the Penguins. Another good one because the Penguins have been looking pretty good, obviously, of late. Doing a real good job. And you got the Rangers coming in here, one of the best teams in the league so far. So you got another little featured matchup for sure. Rangers come in 12-3-1 straight up. Penguins, yeah, they're just 9-8, but they've been hot of late, no doubt about it. Last 10 games for Pittsburgh, 6-4, but even better than that of late. They beat VGK. Remember last game? Yeah, they lost to Carolina. They lost to New Jersey, but they had wins before that. So Pittsburgh has kind of been turning it around here of late. And I expect a real good game in goal from both these guys. Let me fix my parentheses there. As long as we got Igor in there and Yari, let me check it out. That's what I'm expecting. So, I got to go under in this one with the Rangers and the Penguins today. We're seeing more unders from these two teams, I would think, than overs so far this year. You got Pittsburgh having gone under in 4 of their 6 games as an underdog. For the Rangers, they've gone under in 9 of their 13 games as a favorite. And they've also gone under in 7 of the last 10. Give me the under here. All right. And now we've got the Rangers and Pittsburgh out of the way. Let's go next to the Flyers. They're going to go up against the Islanders in this one. Islanders going to be favored minus $1.50 or so. And this total, 6 under. Are we going to see any pressure lower? Yeah, I'm showing even a 5.5 over right now at Bovada. I'm showing 5.5 over at Circa. I'm showing 5.5 over at Stations. This one feels like it is going lower with the Flyers and the Islanders. Look, the Flyers have been a moneymaker on the road. Can you believe it? With these guys, the Flyers, they've been a moneymaker altogether, and they've won 5 in a row now. The Flyers are getting something together here for the most part. Got to be impressed with Philadelphia having moved their way to, second place right now behind the Rangers at 10-7-1 overall. So real good, real strong here, but you are taking on an Islanders team that, this is, what can you say about the Metro Division? I mean, pretty good division so far. Islanders stuck in 6th place, and they've had a pretty good record. So, but for me, if it's going to be 5.5, I'll grade it at 6. I like the over actually in this matchup, so I'll leave 6 under 15 up there. I think you can get some 5.5s. I'm definitely going to be on the over in this game with the Flyers and the Islanders. So, like I said, Flyers so far on the road pretty darn good. You figure they up nearly 3 units so far with a 5-3-1 record. Contrast that with the Islanders. Look, we say the Islanders, 6-6-5, decent record so far, but they're actually one of the worst teams in the league as far as far as betting is concerned. They're already down 6.25 units, and including down 4 units at home so far. So getting the Islanders at a pretty good price if you're interested in them today. St. Louis Blues, Arizona Coyotes. Action here for Wednesday. The Coyotes $1.25 at home in this one, with Vejmelka going up here. Going up here against Jordan Binnington. Got Arizona, St. Louis coming in 9-7, Arizona 8-8 so far this season. For St. Louis on the road so far this year, they're down about 1.5 units, 3-5-1 record on the road. As far as Arizona is concerned, this is kind of where they usually excel, but again, it's funny. We talk about how the great start for Arizona, great for them, right? 8-8-2. They're losing propositions so far this season when it comes to the money, actually. So I don't know. I mean, I know I've been big, so far on Arizona, but I don't know. This could be a spot finally, maybe to get on St. Louis a little bit. Tell you what, I am going to end up doing is going with the over here in this one. These two teams are producing a lot of unders. There's no doubt about it. I'm a little bit contrarian here on this one, but it just seems like the pressure to the under. Let me see. In fact, are we seeing a 6 yet? No. Yeah. There's a 6 over 20 right now at DraftKings. So this one's going to see pressure to the under, and I'm going to end up going the other way and taking the over here. In this one, you got St. Louis has been the big under team. They're in 13 unders in 17 games. Arizona, though, 11 overs in 18 games. St. Louis on the road, maybe they don't score enough. But say Arizona at home 4-3 to the over. St. Louis on the road 1-8 to the under so far this season. Not great, but this one's getting too much pressure in my opinion to the under. I'm going to take over with St. Louis and Arizona. We got to keep this one going. We're almost finally at the finish with the Flames and the Predators here. Who wants any part of the Flames at this point right now with the way they're going? I certainly don't want any part of them right now. I don't know about this total. This one's been all over the place. I saw it as low as 5.5 over 21. I saw it as high as 6.5 under 38. And well, probably end up just around 6, I would imagine, where this one's going to end up. Calgary 7-8-3, Nashville 7-10 so far this season. But it feels like Nashville at home has kind of been where it's at for these two. Look, Nashville so far at home, they are 5-4, and Calgary, we know they've been a complete disaster. On the road, they've already given away more than 3.5 units, despite just a 4-5-2 record. They were probably overvalued to start the season. Calgary just 2-5 so far as an underdog. Nashville is 5-4 at home. Give me Nashville at home today over Calgary. I want to thank Juan for all of his plays. He's a little bit behind on the show, but just want to thank him in case he thinks I'm not flashing his picks up there. Maybe he knows he's behind a little bit. But Juan, thank you as always. All right, the Golden Knights are on the road here against the Stars. Another good one, no doubt about it. With the Knights here with their strong record, man, 13-4. The Stars are 12-4. This is the best game, out of the the West Conference here. I guess was what I mean to say tonight. With Dallas at home against VGK, and seems like VGK just keeps getting it done, but not tonight. I'm taking Dallas. It's got to end somewhere for VGK a little bit. Dallas has proven to be one of the top teams in the league. So is Vegas, no doubt about it. So far, these two teams very good, and this one is the TNT game here. You got for Dallas, pardon me. Just 7-10 against the puck line here. You're dealing with some pretty high puck line prices in this one. So just, of course, give me the money line with Dallas. I think they get it done. Looks like most of the action's on Vegas. So I definitely want to be on Dallas here. I'm showing so far nearly 3/4 of the money on Vegas, but the tickets appear to be edging towards Dallas if you're into that sort of thing. Give me Dallas. All right, the Canadians are at the Ducks today. Boy, I've seen this matchup a few times. I've gone to Montreal at Anaheim probably half dozen times in my life to see this matchup. Always a fun time. And I wear my Canadian. Well, I don't have it right now, but wear my Canadians gear a little bit. And Montreal 7-9-2, Anaheim 9-9. Two teams are nice, pleasant surprises here so far this season, as evidenced by their puck line records as well. Ducks 12-6 on the puck line. They're going to be laying it though here against Montreal. And even though I've been happy with the performance of Montreal so far, let me see. I think this is a spot where we're going to be on Anaheim. I know the Sharps are actually going to be on Montreal here, in my opinion, by probably like a maybe 70% of winning bettors feels like might be on Montreal here, and usually I want to be on that, but I'm going to take the Ducks here tonight at this price. Let's make sure we got minus $1.15, $1.20 or so. Total appears to be moving slightly higher. I'm not necessarily sure about the total. Just give me Anaheim in this one. Take them against my Canadians. All right, we're whipping along. We got to get this show done here today. And hey, Curtis, nice to see you today. We're on the Predators, sir, on that one. Great to have you. Sharks and Kraken. No handicap here. We're just going to keep doing this. I mean, I know it seems extremely square right now. We're just going to lay the Kraken here until further notice. Given the Sharks, they cannot compete at all in any of these situations. They are 0-8 on the puck line, on the road. Lay it with the Kraken until further notice. Kraken not good at home on the puck line, 2-7. But I will note that they are 2-3 as a puck line favorite. That's still sub 500, but compared to their 2-7 puck line record at home, that would indicate that they were actually 0-4 as a puck line dog. So they got a couple of puck line wins. Their only two puck line wins were at home. As the puck line favorite, I should say, and they were both. They're 11-9 overall on the puck line. Out on the road, they've scored 9 puck line victories, often as an underdog. So hopefully, I didn't confuse anybody too much there. Let's take the Kraken. No need. Take the Kraken as a free play. No doubt. Everybody's giving it out. Whatever. We're all doing it. Bookies. What's the number tonight? Because it is. I could pick them. So just take the money you won so far and roll it over again and do it again with these guys. All right. Yeah. Thomas, it was the I'm on the Predators. I'm on the Predators. One more. It's the Canucks here and the Avalanche, and we'll get you out of here. I'm going to wrap up this show real quick, like right now. No handicap, just a pick in this one with Vancouver on the road, minus $1.75 against the Avalanche. Um, yeah, 6.5 over 20 certainly looks interesting, but Vancouver's playing so well, aren't they? This has been terrific. If anything, someone's got to give these guys a challenge. Colorado's 11-6, Vancouver's 13-5. Vancouver plus 1.5, minus 165 on the road. Give me the Canucks on the puck line. I'm interested. Vancouver's been absolutely terrific so far this season. Yeah, we're laying a little bit of juice. You'd have to either lay a favorite with Colorado anyways at $1.75. So give me the Canucks tonight. They are 14-5 on the puck line so far this season. Thanks a lot, you guys, very much. I'll be back tomorrow for Thanksgiving. So join me. You'll be all sitting with your family, maybe, or driving along. Why not join me? Keep me company. I'll be here all alone and wanted to talk to somebody. So join me tomorrow on the morning steam right here at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Hey, join me over at Tony'sPicks.com. I have premium picks locked and loaded for the action today in sports. Right now, I got a big package of games, multi-sport pack for a multi-sport handicapper like myself, and I've got it up there right now for just $30 for the Wednesday night 7-pack. So check it out over at Tony'sPicks.com. There it is. Check me out over at the website. All right. Appreciate it as always. Thanks for spending all this time with me and going through the games. For Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott.